All right, I want to talk about Weaner. Scott Weaner. I want to talk about Senator Scott Weaner.
One day we'll be able to talk about Senator Scott Weaner without laughing about it, making Weaner jokes.
No, we're 12 years old. There's no way that's going to happen. I want to talk about Senator Scott Weaner and the fact that he is a moron. I believe his district is down in Southern California. So if you're one of our Southern California listeners, please do whatever you need to do to vote this person out of office. This man is a menace. So here's what he wants to do. Senator Scott Weaner has introduced SB 271. Now, what SB 271 would do, in effect, would take away any and all requirements for someone who is running for the position of county sheriff to have any law enforcement experience at all.
So somebody who has no experience being a cop running an office full of cops.
Not just an office full of cops. So you have to understand what county sheriff's office does. Okay, so the county sheriff's office is the premier law enforcement agency of an area. Mm-hmm. So if something major happens, a major crisis, the sheriff's office is kind of the one that's in control of that crisis. Yeah. Major natural disasters, because they generally have the resources, and they're in control of, they patrol the, outskirt areas.
Well, yeah, because he is the elected sheriff.
Yes.
He's actually the chief law enforcement official of that county.
That's the term I was trying to think of. Yeah, he is the head law enforcement official of that county. So that's the top dog, okay? In the event of an emergency, everyone answers to the sheriff. Police chiefs, everyone, you got to go up to the sheriff in a major emergency.
Right.
To have that person have no law enforcement experience is not only dangerous, but it is absolutely the most asinine idea I have ever heard in my life. That would be... I can't even think of a good example for that. I really can't. I mean, think of oh, okay, well, here's a good idea. Here's a good one for you. So imagine you need surgery. And the person who makes the decision as to whether or not you get your surgery has no medical experience ever. They've never been to medical school. They've never worked in a hospital. They have no medical experience whatsoever, but they're the ones that get to decide whether or not you have your surgery. Does that sound like a good idea? I mean, insurance companies do that all the time.
Sounds like socialism to me.
Actually sounds like insurance companies today.
Yeah.
But does that sound like a good idea? Because that's what it is. It's dangerous. It's a horrible idea.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Yes. So, if you study, here's what really ruined my life. Okay, I had this wonderful idea. No, not them. I had this wonderful idea of studying the history of the progressive movement. Mm-hmm. And if you study the history of the progressive movement, basically you're studying the ideas when they started in the United States, started switching from traditional capitalist constitutional ideas to, hey, let's look at socialism, let's look at communism, let's look at these things, right? Before World War I and World War II, where we were sending young men to go see firsthand what these things do, there was actually a very strong movement for socialism in the United States. That's what the foundation of a lot of unions and stuff came from that. Okay, there was a huge movement for it. So you start studying their tactics and how they convince people and how they move people. So if you want to fundamentally change, because if you do want a socialist revolution in the United States, if you want a communist revolution in the United States, you have to fundamentally change from the ground up. You have to get people to vote a certain way. You have to get people to hate their own country, right? Which is what we're seeing, right? Remember, Make America Great Again was controversial to half of America.
Right.
Okay? You have to get people to hate their own country because those people will either support your movement or not fight against you.
Yeah.
Right? They'll stay neutral. Okay? But you have to change things from the ground up. One thing they did is the first thing they got a hold of was universities. Okay? So they got a hold of these universities, and then you start, with the universities, you educate lawyers, you educate judges, and you educate lawmakers. Lawmakers start changing regulations because now they got to the university where they got these ideas from. They start changing regulations, and now you've got school teachers who could have just been anyone who could pass a basic grammar test. Now has to have a formal education, right? Now they have to have up to a bachelor's degree plus a teaching certificate or something now, right? To be your basic kindergarten teacher, your first grade teacher. So now you're fundamentally changing America, right? The ultimate goal of a progressive is to make a child as least like his parents as possible.
Okay.
Right? It's the ultimate goal.
They have failed with my kids.
The other thing we're starting to see now, and this is part of a growing trend, is we're seeing it with DA races. We saw this in the San Francisco race, where you have progressive big money people who are now putting money into DA races, right? So the district attorney of San Francisco was a guy who was backed by a lot of big progressives, Okay, he had a lot of money come in from outside, from foreigners, from all sorts of stuff, because they said this is the socialist radical extremists that we want in charge, because we want to fundamentally change America, and that means we're going to not prosecute these types of crimes. We're going to let these criminals exist. We're going to let all this kind of stuff basically cause chaos. The ultimate goal is to cause enough chaos where the United States collapses and they can rebuild into their socialist utopia.
So San Francisco.
The next step, of course, is sheriffs. Right? When you get people who won't be deported because the sheriff won't cooperate with ICE. When you have people who, cops that aren't allowed to do their job because the sheriff is now a progressive liberal who had a lot of money coming from the outside. This movement right here from Senator Weaner, I have no doubt is along those same lines. It's, hey, let's get anybody we want in there so we could pick our people, put a ton of money behind them, put the billboards, all that stuff, make it so they're a household name in that county, and then that guy gets elected and the county just falls apart because now the cops aren't allowed to do their job. They can't get anything done.
No, you're absolutely right.
And we just start causing chaos from the ground up. Now, not every Democrat who pushes these ideas knows that's what they're doing. Right? They're the ones that we call useful idiots. Not everyone who votes for these people know what they're doing. Again, we call them useful idiots. Actually, that's Saul Alinsky's term for them. Okay, people who have no idea what the ultimate goal is, but they're part of your program and pushing for chaos. Antifa, most of the members of Antifa are just useful idiots who have just been radicalized. Let's go out there, let's bomb stuff, let's throw stuff, let's do all this crap, and it's all part of the same line. That was a lot of talking.
That was.
Yes.
You need a breather? You need something to drink? I mean, you gonna be alright there?
I got my miniature Diet Coke here.
Your mini Diet Coke? It's awesome.
Dude, I don't know what it is about Diet Coke in this town. It sells out.
That's weird.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere.
That's weird.
I mean, I bought this because I found it.
So that's a crazy idea. We got to vote these people out, folks.
Yeah, and that's saying
this is a California senator working directly in the opposite direction of the best interest of the state of California. The idea that the person running the top law enforcement agency of a county shouldn't be a law enforcement professional is just asinine. It's ridiculous.
And the truth is, we need to fight back on every level. I mean, if they want to fundamentally change from the ground up, we need to fundamentally fight back from the ground up, which means every battle has to be a battle we choose. We can't choose our battles anymore. Okay, so if it's a DA's race, your local DA's race, get involved. If it's a sheriff's race, get involved. If it's your city council guys, get involved. Actually, next week I'm going to have a guy who's running for city council here locally, who's took a huge stand against Governor Newsom, and they even appeared on Tucker Carlson, Fox News. He's going to be here, and we're going to actually talk to him. But we need to get involved at every level. Okay, and now I understand that a lot of people are hard-working people. Like, I can't go door to door. I don't got time for that.
Nope.
Go door to door for some senator or something like that. But you know what? I can have a date night with my wife and go to a fundraiser dinner.
Yeah.
You know, I can get on their little website and shoot $10 to them or something. $5.
Probably not. I'm cheap. I'm so cheap.
You know what I'm saying? But that's.
But yeah, no, I get what you're
when you find the candidates that you're like, no, I want that guy to go. Help him win.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can volunteer. If you could jump on a phone line and start calling random numbers and say, hey, who are you voting for senator? You know, and yes, it's annoying and people hate those people, but that's how you win races. Name recognition, because the vast majority of voters are going to get their ballot. They're going to look down and they're going to just look at the names. Either you're looking for the D or the R next to the name, or they're looking for name recognition.
Yeah.
And you want to accomplish both. Okay, you want someone who. You see them on their billboards, you see them everything, that when people say their name, they're like, oh, that's my senator.
And you know, because we live in that world now, I feel like we have to actually say the words. Just because we're saying fight, we don't mean actually fight.
Not literally.
Because that's the world we live in now, where we have to actually say...
Peacefully?
We don't mean fight, we mean actually get out and vote and, work towards voting in people who want what's best for this state and the people of this state, and not just some wild socialist agenda.
Okay, in your community, your local school boards,
they matter too. Actually, the local ones matter more than the bigger ones.
Yes, they all matter.
Yeah.
So, from the ground up, guys, yes, we need to peacefully and patriotically fight back. Peacefully and patriotically.
Great. He said patriotically. Now we're getting protested.
Are you kidding me? We're already there, buddy. We're already there. So, anyways, this is the Serving the Peace podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Patreon.
Yeah, we're there, but man, it's not working out.
Okay, you guys send me that link so I can start boosting it. DisturbingThePeacePodcast.com. What else? Instagram, we're on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
DTP@USA.com if you want to email us. DTP@USA.com. I'm the one who answers that, so if you really want to say something directly to this mug, go ahead, DTP@USA.com. Hey, if I like what you say, I'll put it on the air. If
Absolutely.
I hate what you say, I'll put it on the air. If you think we're wrong about something, by all means, email me. I will give you your voice. Anything else, Josh?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thanks, folks.